Yeah, this is a kind of awkward. Turns out Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s and Go Rush stopped doing the whole last time on Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever thing, so yeah, I guess that whole bit is dead. Anyways, Frog the Jam. Welcome back to the 13th Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, I think. Who knows these days? It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Not much to really talk about in terms of last time. Like I said, it's an episodic comedy with some plot going on in the background sometimes. And again, that's not a negative thing to me anyway. I like this format. It's fine. It's legit the most fun I've had watching a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. That's something. I'm not laughing out loud, as the kids say, but the pacing, the energy, and the characters keep me watching. It's entertaining. And I think the new studio Bridge is doing fine. Apparently they did keep some staff from Gallop. They moved over to it, I guess, is what I read. But you know, in terms of animation and in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh!, they're doing okay. Nothing exactly mind-blowing, but the sight gags are great, and even the duel animations are as passable as they were with Gallop. I'd definitely say the one thing I'm not super interested in are the actual rush duels. They're just really boring, man. I get we're starting off with a new format, so they went back to basics, but man, it's just big monster over bigger monster, and then they summon a bigger monster over that monster. That's pretty much every duel from here on out. And yes, even with introducing maximum monsters, because as we'll see with this arc, it's kind of the same thing, just with maximum monsters. Yeah, well, I'd knock another more story-focused show for not having a clear end goal in mind. This show, it's alright. It's just a bunch of jokes, you know? Probably the closest thing we have to any character with any sort of goal at the end of this is Luke wanting to be the king of duels, which comes up sometimes. Speaking of, after defeating Nail and saving Rush Duels, Luke wanting to get even more people into it, starts his own club, the Luke Club. Current members, Luke. So he goes to recruit more, but no one wants to join, so he shows off how fun a Rush Duel is by dueling himself. Literally, he has like a vision quest and has a mirror match against himself, and this whole thing ends with him getting a new card in his deck somehow. Sure. Eventually the other children join the club, but rename it to the Rush Duel Club, not the Luke Club. Meanwhile to that, Nail, after all he did, is not in good standing with Goha, and tries to convince them Rush Duels are epic, but since he failed, the president says he'll take care of it himself this time. But another Goha employee, Mimi, has some gripes herself, as she's also been demoted, so she goes to the president to complain. Cut back to the children, Luke randomly gets an invite to a dueling tournament via a messenger pigeon. The others are wondering why a pigeon had a flyer for a dueling tournament, but Luke doesn't really care and wants to enter the Rush Duel Club, so he holds a training camp to prepare for it. And we see that Seat Bastion has become the club's advisor. If you're still questioning things at this point, you should stop. While wandering around, Yuga runs into a brown girl in the woods, which I had that superpower in elementary school. Her name is Asana, and she's trying to repair her little digging machine, and Yuga helps her out, and the two strike up a friendship.
Yes, thanks. You really know your machines. My name's Asana. I don't know how I can repay you.
But when he returns, Gavin informs Yuga that he knows the name Asana. She's from Goha 6th Elementary, and the leader of the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club, one of the best duel clubs in town, and she's not the kind of person you just randomly meet in the woods. Something must be up. And since we need a duel this episode, Roman duels Sushiko. She's that girl in a kimono from the last part. Hangs out with Sabu Ramen. I don't think I named her last time. I didn't think she's important. She's not. They're dueling to decide what to watch on TV. While that does sound lame as fuck, it is. This duel actually has kind of a cool strategy, something I've been missing from these rush duels. Because you see Roman's whole strategy with her deck is having low life points, which lets her monsters do crazy effects, but Sushiko has cards that restores her opponent's life points, messing with that strategy. And yeah, that's what I want in a duel. That makes it interesting. Counterplay, interaction, characters messing with each other's cards via their own strategies. That's cool, that's interesting. Too bad it's for a duel that's completely irrelevant. Sushiko wins, and they all watch the movie she wanted to that stars Roman's favorite rocker, Princess G. I don't think I named her last time either, but as the children watch the movie special, we see that Asana girl from before seems to be watching them intently from afar. Then the next day, the children wake up to find a giant hole has been dug around their cabin, and they're stranded, with no food cause Luke ate it all. But luckily Gavin says Reno and Rain are on their way, so when they show up, they'll help them. We cut to them and we see something is revealed about Rain, that she has a crush on Yuga. That actually is kinda relevant later. Eventually the two run into the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club and get caught when they overhear them talking about some plan, cause of Rain fantasizing. And they're intercepted by Galleon Townsend. His whole bit is despite being in the 6th grade, he's got facial hair and acts like an old man.
And I'm not letting either of you whippersnappers get away, so don't be getting your hopes up! Understood?
What? You're in 6th grade?
But you look older than my social studies teacher!
Kids these days.
Rain ends up dueling him, and she is a woman, so she loses, and the two are forced to join their club, as it's revealed the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club honor tradition, and these new fancy rush duels go against that, so they want to destroy them. Later, the children are rescued by Galleon, and Gavin asks if he's seen Reno and Rain, but he plays the fool, saying nope, never seen them. The next day, Gavin gets a postcard saying the twins are on a fishing trip. Seems legit. That's when Luke arrives, saying he entered them in the dueling tournament he was talking about. But it's not, because when the other children see the poster, they realize it's actually a music competition.
If this isn't a rush duel, then why's that guy wearing a dual disc? Look closer, Luke. That's a saxophone. What about that other guy and his dual disc? That's a saxophone too!
And they can't withdraw, because while the entry is free, there's a $66,000 withdrawal fee, so they have to participate. But considering Roman is the only one with any musical experience, they go to the music club for help. But Luke weirdly seems scared to go in there, and we soon see why, because he knows the leader of the club very well.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Luke. I didn't expect a visit from my little brother.
Your little brother? Hey, Theodosia?
You know no one gets to call me by that name. Even you. Call me Tiger!
I like Tiger. After hearing about her brother's mistake and that they need help, she agrees to teach them, but only if they best her in musical combat. But less interestingly, Yuga suggests a rush duel. And remember when Yu-Gi-Oh would kind of play other games sometimes? Kind of missed that. Luke tries to tell him that's not a good idea because Tiger is a prodigy, able to quickly master any form of combat. She's never rush dueled before, but knows she will be able to do it flawlessly. I like how Luke does the say twice thing, but she has the opposite where she says it once.
A deep breath fuels the fire within. Exhaling. Watch as the oxygen in the atmosphere explodes into the eternal soul of conflict. You're not prepared for this. I only need to say it once.
Despite her skills, Yuga does manage to win, and the children begin the harsh training from Tiger to play instruments. So the day of the music competition is here, and it's at some old abandoned school building. But they soon find out that Luke was actually right. It is a rush duel tournament, an underground one, that disguised its flyer as a music competition.
It would be obvious it was a dueling tournament instead of a music tournament, since they were holding their instruments like dual discs on the flyer.
This was orchestrated by Django Entent, a boy who has a draw deficiency. If he doesn't draw cards, he dies. So he's a typical card game player. Wait till he finds out you can play Pot of Greed in Genesis format. Django then explains he was once leader of the duel club at Goha 6th Elementary until the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club showed up and took them out, even taking all of their cards. And when he read that rush duels let you draw 5 cards, he just nutted everywhere. And started this underground club, because rush dueling is forbidden in the city. Yeah, I kind of forgot. That's a thing? I don't think I brought it up, but sometimes they do mention that Goha has banned all of rush dueling, which doesn't stop people from doing it publicly all the time, so it's whatever. And now that the creator of Rush Duels, Yuga, is here, he thinks they can all take down the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club and take back the school, cause they're actually on their old campus right now, right next door. But instead, Luke duels Django cause he's pissed he had to endure the training with his sister for nothing. Luke wins, but after the duel, oh shit, the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club busted in. It's a sting, everyone, cheese it! This is when Yuga meets Asana again and finds out she's not only president of the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club, but her full name is Asana Mutsuba, heiress to Mutsuba Heavy Machinery, the company responsible for building Goha City. They also meet the 3 generals, Galleon, who we met, Shubel Quill, and the most important member, Pidgetrap the Pigeon.
That bird is a general?
That is cuckoo.
We also see Asana as a huge machine otaku, practically humping her machine nicknamed R6. Gross. And she uses it to destroy the whole building, stopping the underground duels. Yuga wants to know why Asana would do something like this, and she tells him they believe in tradition, and everything he invents like rush duels goes against that. Yeah, believing in tradition, they say after they tear down an old building. Before she leaves, Yuga challenges Asana to a rush duel, and according to Django, it's tradition to accept any challenge, so she has to agree to it. And Yuga adds on if he wins, she has to let everyone at school rush duel as much as they want. But Asana also has a condition, but will only say after she wins their duel. So the 2 rush duel, and during this duel we probably get the most world building this show has done so far. That Asana's grandfather was the one who made the first dueling apparatus in this world, But then Goha Enterprises showed up with its AI and fancy solid vision, making all of her company's machines obsolete, and she seems to detest Goha for this, more so than anyone else we've seen so far. And we see this whole scenario might not have been a coincidence, as Asana starts saying she thinks rush duels are kind of fun, but the others tell her to pipe down cause they might be listening. And Luke has been in deep thought this whole time and finally says why, cause he thought Pitch Trap looked familiar. That's cause it's the pigeon that gave him the flyer for the dueling music competition. Oh shit, it was all a setup. But it's too late now cause Asana shows her ace in the hole, a maximum monster.
From this rubble, construct a new path of domination! Emerge! Worm Excavator, the Heavy Cavalry Draco!
Which, if you don't remember, it's something only Nail should have since Yuga's was taken away at the end of the last arc. But somehow she has one, and she uses it to beat Yuga, and reveals her condition that now that Yuga lost, the children must all transfer to Goha 6 Elementary. Oh no! But then they see Reno and Rain, who were also forced to transfer. Also, did their parents just agree to transfer their kids to different schools? I mean, they can't just, like, do it themselves, their children, right? But this plan wasn't all of Asana's, because we cut back to Mimi, and see after seeing the Goha president fall, the helmet starts speaking to her. It's actually a drone, and the real president of Goha Enterprises, only needing a human host to carry out its machinations. And since his recent one is, napping, we'll say, he offers Mimi the role to become president. And while kinda sus, as they say, she accepts and then gets a call from Asana. And it turns out, despite her hatred for them, she's working with Goha for some reason, reporting she had Yuga and the others transfer to watch them. But the president doesn't want that. He ordered her to destroy rush duels, not observe them. And if she doesn't nut up and do what he says, he won't live up to their end of the agreement. And now Mimi's not so sure that she should have taken this promotion.
Can you please sign these documents?
Yes. Cool beans.
At Goha 6, we see it's run like a military academy, concerned more with physical training and honing the students' duel skills than actually learning. So a typical anime school. Gavin tries to abolish the system, but he's not student council president anymore and holds no power, and has no responsibility, which makes him freak out. Luckily, Yuga had Kaizo go undercover and figured a way out of this. Now that they are Goha 6 students, if you remember, the rules say it's tradition to accept a challenge no matter what. So if they challenge the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club and win, then they can transfer back. Of course, we have a major problem. Asana, she has a maximum monster, something no one can beat without another maximum monster. Reno and Rain say they did see Galleon digging for something on their way to the cabin, and Luke says they must have dug them up, which everyone points out cards aren't buried underground, but that does give Yuga an idea. Sadly, overhearing their plan was Galleon, and he won't let that happen, but Gavin steps up this time to help his friends, challenging Galleon to a rush duel, and Gavin wins, so disgraced Galleon leaves the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club and walks off into the sunset. Not really though, he's still around, because again, they're children, they can't just leave school. But hey, they beat one of the members, this means they can leave, right? No, cause Asana shows up and says Yuga broke the rules by having Kaizo here go around helping the students cheat during training. So they are now forbidden from leaving the school and are banished to the furthest dormitory. But Yuga says this is great cause he found a book in the library that said students here used to mine, and that Luke wasn't far off, that the answer to how they have maximum cards are in that mine. They were literally digging them up. Unfortunately, during the day, they're all forced to dig themselves by the club. Luckily, despite being watched, Yuga has a plan. He secretly sent out Seat Bastion and Kaizo to go find Nail, because if anyone knows how Asana got maximum cards, it'd be him. Unfortunately, Kaizo and Seat Bastion do not get along at all, because if you remember, Seat Bastion attacked Kaizo in the last arc, but they're forced to work together now. However, the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club knows that they're gone and sends an assassin.
Hi! Greetings, terrestrials, from the underground Shiatsu Empire! My name is Terra Nidalina!
Don't you mean Celestia Nudalina?
Sorry, but I don't know anyone named Celestia. And I certainly can't turn into a UFO like her, so please just call me Terra, okay?
Terra!
I'm glad I found you, because I'm here to pulverize you into dirt!
Yeah, this is my new favorite character. Seat Bastion duels her, and she even ends up winning, but it was a ploy, as Kaizo slipped out during the duel to get to Nail. Sadly, Seat Bastion sacrifices himself in the process, for like a few episodes until he's brought back. Then Terra just leaves because the club had a one-duel contract with her. So to stop Kaizo, they go on Red Alert, which gives the children the opportunity to slip into the mine. And Asana announces to the others that she needs to end rush duels now, so she'll challenge Yuga one last time. But they see that they enter the mine and start freaking out that they might discover their secret. Meanwhile, Kaizo does make it to Nail, who does not seem interested at all in what's going on at first, until Kaizo piques his interest, telling him that someone else has maximum cards. Meanwhile, another Cavalry Club member, Caterpillar, heads to Yugo's lab to destroy it, but the Newspaper Club and Yash see him and defend the lab, but can't beat a giant machine, until Tiger shows up randomly, seeming to know Caterpillar, and the two rush duel. I like Tiger, but this duel doesn't matter. She wins, and we find out Caterpillar Man went rogue when Galleon also randomly shows up, as Asana didn't tell him to do this, and he runs home before he gets in trouble. We do see, though, that Tiger also knows Galleon. Seems she's somehow associated with the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club. Back with the children, they get lost in the mine, but they soon run into Tracker. I don't know if you remember him, he's one of the kids from the Dinosaur Club. And he's along with Kaizo, who came back with Tracker and a message from Nail, who says he's curious how someone else got their hands on maximum cards and sent Tracker to help track duel discs, cause Goha made many prototype duel discs long ago and buried the failures underground. I feel like that can't be legal, but it's a corporation, so I'm sure with enough money they made it legal. And with Tracker's help, they uncover a hidden passage that seems to have been dug out recently. As they travel through it, some stuff happens that has Rain simp for Yuga more, and her Rainovision activates, making her Delulu, and seeing everything like a shoujo manga, with Reno the only one knowing what's actually happening to her. They then come to an arena where Shubel and Galleon are waiting to stop them, but Galleon is tired from traveling so much, like when he went to go see Caterpillar Man, so he collapses and Rain's Fujoshi vision makes her so crazy she duels in his place. So to stop her and make sure her secret of being a trash yaoi shipper stays secret, Reno duels her with Luke aiding him like they do with Gavin. And they both suck. It's a tie, what a waste of time. Also, Reno is crazy too because he has anime Gooner vision and falls for Roman. Hey, he's like you guys. After that distraction, Luke duels Squall, but it's eventually revealed Pitchtrap is the one actually dueling. It's funny, I guess, but again, not much happens. Luke wins, and they travel deeper underground, where they find the old duel discs, and Yuga and Nail explain how maximum cards are inside. That when Yuga created Rush Duels, he overloaded the system, causing even these old underground duel discs to be put on Goha's network, including Nail's maximum summons. And since maximum cards don't exist, the only way to make them is to change another item that the system recognizes as a card, like IDs. And all of these duel discs do have IDs in them, so now that they're all part of the network, you can easily change them to maximum cards, which is how Asana got hers, who shows up, and explains it's not that simple, because these duel discs are so old, it's hard to find one with a working ID card, and also not every ID card can become a maximum monster, you need some luck too, which explains why she's the only one who has one right now. They've dug up hundreds of duel discs, but only found 3 that worked so far. And she challenges Yuga one last time. If he wins, they can all go home, and Rush Duels will be legal at Goha 6. But if he loses, they're all stuck there forever, and Rush Duels will be banned. Everywhere. So they duel, and Asana immediately summons her maximum monster, and says she's already figured Yuga out, she's got this nigga downloaded. That he must have his own maximum monster if he accepted this duel, especially since after last time. And he did. He had Kaizo beg for Nail to give him his, but then he strangely refuses them, saying he changed his mind. Because Tracker found him 3 duel discs easily with IDs, something that took the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club weeks. And despite not knowing if they will work, Yuga wants to try them, cause that's more fun. Luckily, protagonist, so they all do work, and he summons his Megazord again. But the clash of the two monsters is too much, and both of the maximum monsters disintegrate, so now it's a regular duel between the two. But we see Asana's machine R6 is falling apart, it's about to die. And Asana reveals why she's working with Goha, cause this machine is her partner and has been with her for a long time. They are a reminder of her family's company, what her legacy is. But thanks to Goha, they got bought out and absorbed. Mutsuba Company is just no longer a thing. And they don't make parts for it or any of the other machines that they use, so they can't repair them anymore. So in exchange for destroying Rush Duels, Goha promised to make parts for them again. And despite the friendship on display by the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club, Yuga can't have Rush Duels banned, and he protagonists all over them, winning the duel. But it's bittersweet, as Asana's company's inventions will now just be scrapped, all recycled to be used to update your new AI girlfriend. But Yuga then taps on a wall outside the mine, and it crumbles, revealing an old Mutsuba lab with the first duel machine. Yuga found out about it while researching in the library. This is a subtle ad for kids to read, and hey, I'm all for it. Our Lord Exodia knows Yu-Gi-Oh players can't. Then they all see that despite tradition, the duel machine is cobbled together with random ass parts from the trash and even newer ones. And Yuga explains they might have misunderstood the tradition thing, that as long as the heart of the machine is there, who cares if you change the fan or the GPU? If it runs Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links to Rush Duel, then that's all that matters. So this arc ends with Goha 6 being freed of the rule of the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club, and Yuga helping fix up everyone's machines with new parts, and they're all friends in the end. But then the Goha president learns Asana failed, so he says it's time for Goha to handle this personally, to Mimi's annoyance. Anyway, the children return to Goha 7th Elementary.
Look at this mess!
It's hard to believe that we were only away for 3 days.
The actual episode is whatever, it's a Roman episode. I'm not saying that because I'm upset that it's a Roman episode, it's just, you know, ever since after the Roa stuff, she's just kind of there, mostly just girling it up. And this episode doesn't really fix my perception of her. In it, her idol, Princess G, quits music because she enjoys rush duels. And Goha also run her music label and don't want someone like that, so they drop her. Coincidentally, a new teacher comes to the children's school to help Roman through this, as she decides to quit rush duels since they took G from her. So she has one last rush duel against Yuga, but eventually realizes that the new teacher was G, who leaves, saying she's more of a rocker than a teacher as Roman continues her dueling. Cool, I guess. Sick to comedy, sevens. The next day at school, the children hear a rumor that Goha is releasing maximum cards, and some people already have them. That's weird because maximum cards are only used in rush duels, so why is Goha releasing a product for something they've tried to get rid of? No time for that because Rain decides to quit the student council.
You're quitting the student council? You're no longer going to be serving as the vice president of Goha number 7? And you want me to replace you as vice president of the school?
Yes, to 2 out of the 3.
Saying she's holding Gavin back and thinks this will help him grow or something. So they rush duel, she loses after showing he is evolving with a new monster, but he lets her resign anyway. Again, kind of a waste of time. But again, at least it's funny.
Rain, we need to talk.
You're not Rain.
No, I'm not, but I am your new vice president.
You're what now?
Rain still does need an extracurricular activity, so she goes to the one person she thinks that will help her, Nail, who immediately tells her to fuck off. But then we get some special news.
Greetings, citizens of the modern world! Is that Celestia?
Is it?
No, it's Terra.
My name is Prioria Sweetalina, and I've time traveled from my ancient civilization to bring you some big news!
I told you, man, Yu-Gi-Oh! And these new characters, it's a problem. Goha announces that they are holding their own official Team Rush Duel tournament. Once again, pretty sus, as the children say, that Goha all of a sudden is embracing rush duels. And they also announced the winner will be King of Duels, so Luke wants to enter, of course. But it's only teams of 3, so the children have to figure out who's going to sit out. Or not, because surprising them, Yuga says he's going to sit it out voluntarily. He doesn't want to rush duel. So Luke runs off in a huff, thinking that he doesn't want to duel with them. And later see that he's with Tracker at the mine. And Tracker also has some solid gold items now. I'm sure that's not important. They're here to get more IDs to eventually get some maximum cards to win the tournament. Despite the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club not giving him permission to be there. So he runs inside, and they all see they're not the first ones here, as the Goha 5th Elementary Duelstronauts are here to get their own cards, after they saw Asana summon one. And I don't know, man, I'm kind of mixed on Sevens introducing these rando one-off characters, because on the one hand, again, yeah, it's just more characters, but at the same time, it does kind of help the town feel more lived in, you know, we're seeing all these different characters, mostly kids from different schools. It's kind of neat, but at the same time, it's a huge jobber fest, you know what I mean? So since everyone's trespassing and about to be kicked out, the Duelstronauts challenge Asana to a rush duel, so they can stay looking for some IDs. But she has Luke duel them instead, because she thinks this will help him figure out why Yuga is flaking on them. And he does figure it out. Because it's teams of 3, Yuga stayed out of it so they could all enjoy rush duels together, and Luke wins. That's when Gavin and Roman arrive, also coming to look for maximum cards.
Luke! And he's not alone! Everyone's here! Even astronauts.
And for winning and figuring out Yuga's reason, Asana lets them dig to their heart's content. They don't find anything. Well, the day of the tournament arrives, and the children immediately run into Mimi, and immediately recognize her, thinking that she's dressing up as the company mascot. Anyway, the children register without Yuga, but then they run into Old Man and Pigeon Boy, who can't enter, because Asana for some reason had to drop out of the tournament last second. So Luke proposes Yuga join their team, but he really doesn't jump at the opportunity to rush duel, our protagonist. That's when Otis shows up again. He's back and challenges Yuga to a duel, saying if he wins, he will reveal the real reason Goha is holding this tournament. But actually, Otis is dueling Yuga because he noticed Yuga's heart isn't in rush duels, at least as much as it used to be, demonstrated by how Yuga is using the same cards and strategies as episode 1. Sure, maximum cards exist, but no one has an extra deck yet. While others have helped grow and evolve rush duels, he hasn't, which, fair, but Yuga proves him wrong by using a new card and beating him, then teaming up with the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club to enter the tournament, because Otis's lesson, I guess, was to reignite his drive and find out why Goha is doing this himself by entering. Yeah, look, don't try to understand Otis's motivations for anything in this whole show. It's never gonna make any sense. Unfortunately, Otis does not have the relic to escape this time and is captured by Goha. But no time for that because the tournament is underway. As the opening ceremonies begin, Roa and his band perform. Roman tells us they broke up at some point, I guess, which is why she's not there. But really, Roa uses this as an opportunity, challenging the president of Goha, aka Mimi, to a duel. If he wins, they have to let go of Otis. The helmet does not want to do that at all, but Mimi can't pass up the chance to duel Roa, so they rush. And during the duel, the helmet completely takes over Mimi by doing a mental override. In other words, womaning her. Oh, finally, I feel like I haven't used that in so long. We just haven't had a proper womaning since... No, there was a lot of it in Brains, actually. Despite the misogyny, Roa still wins, while still being a total dick to his bandmates. But Otis is saved, not by Roa, he escaped himself. Well, shit. Also, Roa's bandmates abandoned him because he's a dick. Which sucks, because he specifically wanted to ask Otis something, but now has no team. And neither does Yuga, as the boys of the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club leave to go help Asana. So with no teams, Yuga and Roa team up. But they need one more, so Yuga gets Nail on the team. So now it's Yuga, Nail, and Roa on a single team. This is why teams in esports need to be pre-approved for balancing purposes. We need a ratio system here. So yeah, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's mini tournament arc, because again, it's like 5 episodes. So the way it works is you duel as much as you want, anytime, anywhere. But lose 7 times, you're out. And you win, you get 7 points. The 2 teams with the most points by tomorrow are in the grand finals. Yeah, it's a 2-day tournament. It's just held over the weekend, I guess. And currently in the lead are the protagonist teams, of course, and they all get lunch at the ramen shop, which Nail becomes captivated by. But Luke starts complaining because he thinks it's unfair that Nail is the only one in the tournament with a maximum monster. Roman says there are rumors that other duelists have their hands on them too, but how can that be and how come they haven't seen any yet? Well, we immediately get an answer, as the Dinosaur Club show up, but now rebranded as the Treasure Tracker Club, cause Tracker is looking tacky as all hell with all this gold, and challenges Yuga to a duel, revealing their team is in 3rd place. And the reason for that is cause Tracker, somehow, has a maximum monster. Then some rando kid comes in to explain why, but it's not some rando, it's Rain, a different rando, who went undercover to find out that Tracker is the one selling all the maximum cards on the streets. Turns out right after the Goha 6 stuff, he went back to the mine and dug up every single duel disc there with a working ID, so that's why no one could find any more when they went back. But when selling them, he only sold 1 card per customer, making sure no one would have a set of 3 so he can control duels and the market. And now he plans to use his maximum monster to beat Yuga, the creator of Rush Duels, to make his rep and business boom. It's crazy this is the best and most logical Yu-Gi-Oh character turned evil in the whole show, and it's mostly a joke. And it makes all the others look even worse. Unfortunately for Tracker, Yuga is a pro tag with rivals, cause it just so happened Roa and Nail got their hands on 2 maximum cards for the same monster and gave them to Yuga, and even Asana found one last ID card in the mines and gave it to Yuga, so with their help, he now has a maximum monster and humbles Tracker.
Volcanoes! Glaciers! Not even meteors can block my way! With curiosity and rock,
And with pride,
I'll blaze my road to greatness!
But Yuga doesn't understand one thing. Tracker found all the duel discs, but there's no way they dug them all up themselves. And he reveals he had help from Goha, and a guy saying he's from Goha 66. While Yuga's team do some research at home, Luke, Roman, and Gavin go to the mine itself to find out what Goha is up to, but are stopped by dual zombies. No, not the kind from GX. These are people that lost the tournament and are butthurt about it. Seriously. But thankfully, their jobber friends come to help out, and they are stopped by Piora Sweetalina, who Sabu Ramen thinks is Celestia Noodlina, even though that's clearly not her, or this Terra, whatever her name was. She challenges them to a duel, and the one who accepts is the cowboy. I forgot he existed. He has meat and barbecue versions of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Cause he's a cowboy, he wins. So she goes back to her own time, and the tournament has a new, completely different host now.
I'm Oceania Illuminina, your new MC for the Battle Royale! Club, 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 club!
Back with Team Boy rivals, they are in the ramen shop and see that on the wall is a version of the legend that led them to Otis. And after Rain wrongfully accuses the owner of being Otis, he's not, it's a weird fake out. He says a Goha employee from the Goha 66 gave it to him. Inside the mountain, we see the Heavy Cavalry Duel Club intercept the Goha 66, or called that because there are 66 of them. Makes sense. So it might be too much for them. That's when Tiger shows up to help, and seems to know Asana quite well. At this time, Luke's group make it to the mine, but are stopped again by a Goha flunky. Sort of, cause it's Kaizo, along with Tyler and Toombs. They're working for Goha now, cause they're all losers. Tired of being neglected and used as a joke, they decided to team up with Goha, Kaizo specifically to do this, to get revenge on them for always using him for comedy. So he starts with Luke, and they duel. Luke wins. They head inside and find that the club and Tiger have already beaten all of Goha 66. And they have Kaizo spill their plans. But they're not there to get ID cards and get maximum monsters. They're here because Goha's main server is apparently rumored to be in Maximum Mountain. That's the name of the mine. And they want to find it to get control of the company. But before that, we get some drama. Because Tiger does not care about any of this. She's only here to duel Asana, and the two have nicknames for each other. Asana calls her Tialina, and she calls her Ocelina. Some dog shit ass nicknames. And we find out in the past, they used to be good friends until one fateful day a snowstorm arrived, and Luke went missing. So they split up to find him, Asana going to get her grandpa for help, but never came back, abandoning Tiger, who found Luke just sleeping somewhere, and all this time assumed she abandoned her and her brother. But not really, because what happened was Asana and Granddad found another missing boy, Shubel and Pitchtrap, who are brothers, by the way, and found out Luke was fine, so that's why she never showed up or explained the next day or something. I'm not really sure how this was a misunderstanding, but it was. They figure it out and they're friends again. Yay, friendship. And after Luke makes his sister mad again, he gets slammed into a wall, revealing Goha's main server. But it's not. It was a trick, as a Goha 66 member says this note told him it was here. And when Yuga hears of this, seems like he might have an idea of who led them astray. Because now we come to the finals of the Goha Rush Duel Tournament, as the two teams in the finals, of course, are Yuga's and Luke's. Winner becomes king and queen, I guess, of duels. The first duel is Roman versus Roa. It's not that interesting. Roman wins, shockingly, because, you know, girl. Next duel, Gavin versus Nail, is more interesting, mainly because it's funny. Because to help him beat Nail, who has a maximum monster, Gavin evolves his Sogetsu style, going even further beyond. He becomes a rapper.
Party people! Are you ready for a new era of dueling? If you can handle DJG, then bring it on!
Gavin, what are you doing?
I'm doing what I'm doing, Ro-Ro.
He thinks abandoning tradition and going more modern is what he needs to do, and this is my kind of cringe comedy, man. This is amazing.
When I say DJ, you say G! DJ! G! Oh yeah, I heard you, fella in the back. Appreciate it.
Of course, this does not help him, and after bombing with his cultural appropriation, he goes back to the Sogetsu style and doesn't win, but does manage to tie the duel. Also, seeing Gavin's social suicide has inspired Rain to come back to the student council. All's well that ends well. But now the two teams are tied, and the last round and final duel of this arc is Yuga versus Luke. Also, if they win, they get 7 points and are both at 770 points. I think there's a theme going on here. Oh, right, the dual discs, they're also 7s. 7 out of 10. And look, I'd say so far it's been a pretty wacky Yu-Gi-Oh series, right? Well, I think this is the point where any semblance of a plot doesn't just go out the window. That shit gets tossed out like a football. Because any form of logic, any form of reasoning, any form of justification they give to anything going on just doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like, after this point in the show, we reach true absurdist levels of not giving a fuck. Mainly because what we're about to find out is barely explained, and even when you think about it for 2 seconds, makes no fucking sense. So the duel starts off bad for Yuga as he bricks, just like when he first dueled Luke. That's when it's revealed by Nail, who had people on it, that Goha's main server is on the moon. 1. How? Why? 2. While you guys are looking for it up there, you should also look for this thing called the Numeron code. You should have that. It's pretty important. But they also find out that someone is currently in the middle of hacking that server. And this hack is deleting Rush Duels. The code for Rush Duels looks like a robot. And while it seems like a mystery, Yuga knows who's doing this. It's Otis. Yeah. And even the other characters, probably like you and me watching this, are confused. Because why would Otis want to delete Rush Duels when he's helped Yuga install it and tried to help him evolve it like every step of the way? I don't know. I'm not saying like I personally don't know. Like, that's the answer the show gives. He's just doing it. Yeah, all of a sudden Otis is against rush duels and acts like an antagonist for the rest of the show, cause reasons. Yeah, spoilers for Otis as a character. He's not really a character. In a sense, he is kind of a plot device because he's just whatever the writers want him to be at any point. And I'm not just talking about in this show. You'll see what I mean when we get to Go Rush. And look, even in absurdist comedy, even I gotta say, that's pretty bullshit. I mean, I guess it's better than them inventing some rando villain at the last second. But at the same time, they also sort of invent a rando villain at the last second. It's just one they had in storage. Anyway, it looks like no matter what, no one can stop Otis's hacking. Rush duels are going away. So since it looks like it's the last one, Yugioh and Luke continue their duel. So back to that duel, you see Yugioh's doing better, but Luke manages to even defeat his maximum monster without one. Seems Luke is super serious, he's trying to win. I mean, cool, but it's not that impressive. Luke's gonna have to play some pretty powerful card in order to get.
First, I activate the spell card, Pot of Greed. It lets me draw 2 cards.
Seriously, you don't understand what this is like for me. This is like seeing a friend you thought was dead be revived right in front of your eyes. I'm sorry, I need a moment. I still don't know what this fucking card does, though. Somehow using this card that does something, Luke actually manages to win the duel. Yeah, Luke won the tournament, becoming the king of duels, officially. Well, Goha gives him a cardboard crown. Pissing off Yugioh, who actually really wanted to win. But at what cost? Because Otis succeeds, he deletes rush duels. Now we have to play dumb, stupid master duels again with link monsters and shit. Fucking sucks. But LLJK, rush duels are back, because Yugioh explains he successfully reinstalled them. Well, technically it was Kaizo. While Otis was uninstalling the old code, Yugioh was uploading a brand new one at the exact same time, which programmed the drones on the moon to make a real Megazord robot, making the rush duel code stronger and less hackable. So rush duels are here to stay, and Luke is now king of duels. The end. And that's what the Wikipedia page anyway defines as Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Again, not much to say, I'm still really enjoying it though. And I think because it's a comedy, any plot relevant things that are dumb like Otis for the rest of the show, I kind of forgive as long as it's funny, and to me it is. Because yeah, I'm still entertained. I like the characters, the jokes, the duels are getting slightly better. Like, they're almost watchable. I just think we need a little bit more mechanics or something, because again, it's just been 50 episodes of bigger monster over bigger monster. Well, join me next time, children, and we might see a little bit more mechanics added to this rush duel thing, because we'll be meeting the real president, or should I say, presidents of Goha Enterprises. And maybe not the hero we need, but definitely the one we deserve. See you then!